شراكة متميزة لدائرة الهجرة وبرنامج صباح الخير ميشيغان. تابعونا صباح يوم الخميس في الأسبوع الثالث من كل شهر تماما في 48 دقيقة. مواضيع هامة تتعلق بآخر مستجدات الهجرة مباشرة مع مسؤول من دائرة الهجرة. شراكة متميزة. صباح الخير ميشيغان، دائرة الهجرة، خليكم معنا. نرحب بالضابط ماريلو كابريرا التي انضمت إلينا الآن مباشرة من شيكاغو. I would like to welcome Officer Marilu Cabrera, Public Affairs Officer, Officer of Communication Media Relation Division, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Hello, Mrs. Cabrera, and welcome to the show today.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Officer Mary, and I would like to welcome you as a wonderful partner here for our radio show this morning.
Good morning, thanks.
Mrs. Cabrera, first I would like to thank you so much for the effort in trying to clarify some of the concerns of the people who are trying to adjust their legal status or have some extremely tough circumstances and they are applying for refugee status. So many thanks on behalf of all the Syrians who reach out to us and have so many questions. If I would like to summarize the question I received, most of them are when applying for refugee status, how long should a person wait before receiving an answer of approval or denial? Let me start with this very common question between all of them.
Okay, certainly. And so let me just clarify that there is, a distinction, and I'm quite sure your listeners probably understand this, but there's asylum seekers and there's refugee seekers. So refugees are when you are outside of the country, and those are initially processed, of course, overseas by the Department of State. The asylum status is and the refugee process is initiated with the Department of State and also, with our agency. But and that's a little bit more complex process. The asylum process is when you are already in the United States. And the processing time is a difficult one to determine, because, as you can imagine, these are complex cases. And so there's a lot that needs to go into processing the application, doing the background checks, and doing everything necessary to process that application. We don't give right now I don't know what the specific waiting time. I do know it is a long waiting time, and I can talk to you about what we do in the interim. I don't know if you wanted to translate that part or if you want me to
Absolutely,
continue.
yes.
Let me translate this. كان سؤالنا مستمعينا الأعزاء حول طبيعة المدة التي يمكن الانتظار أو التي يتوقع فيها الرد بالقبول أو برفض طلب حق اللجوء هنا في الولايات المتحدة حسب ما وردت لنا من أسئلة. أفادت ضيفتنا أن هناك فرق بين الريفيجي ستاتس أو الأسايلم، بحيث أن الريفيجي ستاتس سيكون مع وجود الشخص المتقدم للطلب خارج البلاد، أما الأسايلم فسيكون عندما يتقدم بطلب اللجوء وهو داخل البلاد. الأمر الأول يتم التعامل معه عن طريق وزارة الخارجية، أما الأمر الثاني وهو الأسايلم يتم التعامل معه بين وزارة الخارجية وإدارة الهجرة والجنسية في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. ومن الصعب ضمان وقت وتحديد مدة زمنية يتم الانتهاء فيها من المعاملة الإدارية الخاصة بالطلب، وذلك نظرا لوجود الكثير من العوامل التي يتم وضعها في الاعتبار، مثل فحص السجل الجنائي والتأكد من صلاحية وأهلية صاحب الطلب طبقا للقوانين والأنظمة المرعية. ولكنه سيتم خلال هذا اللقاء محاولة توضيح الصورة التي يتم بها التعامل مع مثل هذه الطلبات، ونعرف أن هناك فترة انتظار طويلة للأسباب السابق شرحها.
Mrs. Cabrera, would you please continue? I mean, how the department deal with this application, please?
Oh, okay, certainly. So I can talk in two parts, and I'll start with the asylum process, which is the one that belongs to our agency and the one that I'm more familiar with. But so if an individual has filed for asylum, their I-589 application for asylum and for withholding of removal is pending with the agency, and that individual has not stopped the interview or the application for any reason. They've submitted all the paperwork, and it is a delay on our part, and it's been over 180 days since they've filed that application. then that individual is eligible for employment authorization. So realizing that these people are here in the United States, they need to work, they need to pay their bills. So we all need to pay our bills. So we do want to accommodate them because it is our delay. It is, for whatever reason, it's over 180 days. The application has not yet been determined. We are still doing our research. That applicant is now eligible to file for an employment authorization card and to go out and seek employment here in the United States legally.
We gotta take this part please. سيتم الحديث مستمعينا عن جزئين فيما يختص بموضوع الأسالم. الجزء الأول أنه إذا تقدم شخص للطلب واستكمل أوراقه القانونية ومن ضمنها القسيمة الخاصة النموذج الخاص ب I-589 وتقدم بطلبه وتحدد له المقابلة واجتازها ولكن لم يتم توضيح موقفه والرد عليه بالقبول أو الرفض وتعدى فترة 180 يوما، عندها يحق له التقدم للحصول على تصريح بالعمل. تعلم الإدارة جيدا أن هناك التزامات مالية ويجب الوفاء بها، وأن المقيمين في الولايات المتحدة ملزمون بسداد استحقاقاتهم المالية من فواتير وقسائم وغيرها، ولذلك فإنه إذا تعدى 180 يوما وكان التأخير من جهة الإدارة USCIS عندها يتم التصريح له بالحصول على العمل بما يعرف بتصريح الحصول على العمل.
Before continuing, Ms. Cabrera, can I add really a common question also from our listener? Is there any difference between people they already did their interview or people waiting for the interview for those maybe circumstances?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So if the person already did his interview and waiting for an answer, any difference between those who not did their interview yet or those who already did their interview? I mean, any difference in maybe relating to the work permit and applying for this or not? No, it is the same.
So the 180 days is relevant for those individuals who have filed the application and have not heard back from us.
Right.
If you have had your interview and you have not heard back from us, then it's prudent to check in with our office to see what the status is, and then they will determine it from there.
كان السؤال مستمعين عن الفارق بين من تقدم بالمقابلة واجتازها أو من لم يتقدم بالمقابلة، ما هو الفرق بينهما؟ أفادت لنا ضيفتنا أن 180 يوما تخص من قام بالمقابلة ولم يتلقى ردا من الإدارة بعد، عندها يحق له التواصل مباشرة مع ضابط الحالة الخاص به ليقوم بالمتابعة. تفضل ليلى.
But I have to add that yes, most commonly that does pertain also to individuals who have not yet heard or received a decision on their case.
ولكن يجب الإضافة أن ذلك أمر شائع بالنسبة لمن لم يحصلوا على رد على حالتهم.
Yes, Mr. Cabrera, you said in the beginning that there is two parts for those individuals. So we just addressed the first one. What is the second one?
Sure. So there's the asylum seekers that I just discussed. Individuals who are here in the United States who fear persecution on race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. So if they have a sincere fear to go back based on those criteria, and they're here in the United States, then they would file for asylum. So then the other portion, and I understand probably that a big portion of your audience, of your listeners, fall into this category as well, or their relatives do, and that's of refugees that are processed overseas. And those are individuals who are living, let's say, in Syria, and they are suffering,
right.
and they qualify for refugee status. Now, the refugees need to, in order to come to the United States and to be considered as a refugee, the applicant must receive a referral to the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program. So I don't know how much detail I need to go in here because it's a little bit more of a complex process, but every year the State Department will determine certain priorities based on worldwide situations. And then certain countries or situations may be placed in those priorities. So I know that, for example, the UNHCR, United Nations, they're the ones that deal with these refugee applications. They have an office in Damascus. They are very involved in Syria and in helping, and this is all, not necessarily falls under the umbrella of our agency, but just to give you an overview. Those individuals would need that referral made in order to come in as refugees. But certainly that there is a large presence there in Syria for those individuals that need assistance, need immediate shelter, that need food, and then need referrals to come into the United States. So.
Absolutely, Mrs. Cabrera, and I've heard yesterday so many from individuals who contacted me. They said those people, they cannot really know where to go or how to apply, and they are in really very serious circumstances in Syria. Maybe we can follow up with you in a very in different time, maybe if you have time within the next week or the following week, to speak specifically about those who are seeking to come to United States from outside, from Syria.
Certainly. I will certainly work on getting more details as far as those individuals that are overseas.
Right.
The little research I did and that I found out, I know that the office for the United Nations is in Damascus.
Right.
So that would be a first step until we speak again, either with myself or someone from the State Department.
مستمعينا، ملخص لما ورد في الحديث في هذا الجزء من الحلقة. نعرف الآن أن هناك في الولايات المتحدة الكثير من يسعون إلى ضم أقاربهم من خارج الولايات المتحدة، وأن ذلك يجب أن يتم في حالة اللجوء مع الاعتبار لأحد الفئات الخمسة التي يقبلها القانون حسب الانتماء السياسي أو الديني، الموضوع خاص بالجنس أو الدين، وعندها يجب عليهم الحصول على تحويل من مكتب شؤون رعاية اللاجئين في التابع للأمم المتحدة. ونعرف أن هناك مكتبا لرعاية شؤون اللاجئين في دمشق بسوريا، وسيتم المحاولة الحصول على تفاصيل أكثر إن شاء الله في حلقات قادمة.
Mrs. Cabrera, I would like to go more for the benefit. Any applicant for refugee asylum from United States, what kind of benefit will receive? This is very common question, and when he can apply for Social Security and those benefits, please.
Well, the only benefits that our agency, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, would provide in the interim is that employment authorization card.
Right.
And so any other, and obviously the benefit of the ultimately of the asylum for those that are eligible. But we issue the employment authorization card, like I mentioned, in the interim until that decision is made or until there's some word from USCIS. Any sort of Medicaid or other public programs that are administered either at the federal level, or at the state level would have to be addressed by that particular agency. So we would not have anything to do with whether someone does receive that aid or not. That would have to be that particular agency that would make that determination.
كان سؤالنا مستمعينا الأعزاء حول ما هي المزايا التي يحق لطالبي اللجوء الحصول عليها. أفادت لنا ضيفتنا أفسر ماريلو كابريرا أن تصريح العمل هو الأمر الوحيد الذي تختص به إدارة USCIS the Employment Authorization Only، وهو بطاقة التصريح بالعمل. أما باقي الخدمات التي يتم تقديمها على المستوى الاتحادي الفيدرالي مثل خدمات الميديكيد وغيرها من الخدمات الطبية أو بعض الخدمات التي يمكن الاستفادة منها عن طريق حكومة الولاية، فإنه يجب التواصل مع الإدارات القانونية والحكومية المعنية بتقديم مثل هذه الطلبات.
Also, Ms. Cabrera, I would like to ask you, while they're waiting for an answer, whether approval or denial, can they change maybe the state? They travel to another state or prefer to stay in the same state they applied for this asylum?
Well, if they're going to move, they need to make sure that they notify us so that we have the correct address as to where to contact you. So that's very important. So there's no need to, you can change your address, but we need to make sure, even if you move down the street, we need to know where we can reach you. Otherwise, if we have important correspondence, for example, you might be missing an important piece of information that we need from you in order to continue with the application, but we can't reach you, then obviously that presents an obstacle for us and then for the applicant waiting. So it doesn't matter as long as we know where to contact you.
كان السؤال مستمعينا الأعزاء حول إذا هل يحق لطالبي اللجوء السفر وتغيير محل إقامتهم ربما إلى ولاية أخرى. أفادت لنا ضيفتنا أنه لا مانع من سفرهم وتغيير محل إقامتهم، ولكن عليهم التواصل مع الإدارة لتغيير محل إقامتهم وعنوان التواصل معهم مع الإدارة، لأن ذلك أمر مهم. قد يكون هناك رغبة من الإدارة في التواصل معهم لاستكمال بعض الأوراق الهامة التي قد تؤثر على قرار قد يتخذ بحقهم في استحقاقهم للجوء من عدمه، وأنه قد يمثل ذلك عائقا في حالة عدم وجود عنوان وطريقة واضحة للتواصل معهم. فتنصح ضيفتنا بضرورة اختار إدارة USCIS بعنوان ومحل إقامة يمكنهم التواصل معكم من خلاله.
Mrs. Cabrera, I see here somebody trying to call us from overseas. Do you prefer to take any calls, please? Can we hear from him, or we just... I wanted to give him an opportunity since he's trying over and over to reach us. Farouk?
الو مرحبا.
Yes.
الو.
Yes.
انا مرحبا، انا عندي سؤال لحضرة الاوفيسر.
تفضلي سريعا لو سمحتي. تفضلي.
شكرا. انا طلعت من سوريا لاجئة لمصر بعد ظروف كتير صعبة، وتعرضنا للقصف، وزوجي مفقود اعتقل ما بعرف وينه. فجينا على مصر انا واهلي، ووالدي توفى هون بمصر. ووالدتي طلعت على السعودية لعند أخي لظروف صعبة، ما عاد تقدر ترجع لعندي، يعني ما عاد تقدر ترجع على مصر لعندي. فأنا هلأ أنا وطفلين ظروفنا جدا جدا صعبة كتير، في عنا مشاكل، يعني ما في أمان نهائيا. وكانت أختي تيجي من أمريكا.
عمر الطفلين قد إيه؟
ابتدائي 8 و10 سنين.
استكملي.
8 سنين و10 سنين.
اوكي.
فقاعدين في ظروف صعبة، وانا صيدلانية اشتغلت فترة، بس تعرضت للسرقة في الصيدلية وهجوم على البيت، فتركت الشغل، وولادي بقدرش ابعتهم المدرسة، يعني ما بقدر ابعتهم على المدرسة.
سيدة نور, I got your question. So انت سؤالك كيف فيكي تقدري تجي للولايات المتحدة الأمريكية؟ وين فيكي تعبي على الأسايلم؟
يعني
نعم.
انه كيف فينا نقدم طلب بس انت لأمريكا بما يصير الوضع بمصر او سوريا، يعني
شكرا
جزيلا.
That was a call from Egypt, Ms. Cabrera, and this lady, she was speaking as many stories I've heard, and I forwarded to you that how can they apply to come to United States based on a very tough situation and very hard circumstances and family tragedies. And I guess we did address this question, me and you, that we're going to follow up in another maybe program to speak about how can those apply and what is the best way to do it, right, Ms. Cabrera?
Yeah, we can certainly address that either with myself or someone from the State Department, but I think it's relevant to add here that fleeing general violence is not a grounds for asylum, and I think we've discussed this in past programs.
Right.
But when you file that application, you need to, and this is in the asylum case, but you really need to include specific evidence and not general country conditions. So we need to make sure that there is that fear of persecution.
Yeah, according to this lady, Mrs. Cabrera, sorry to interrupt, it is really a very tough situation she's been through, and her husband being killed, and she's been tortured. So it is really within this category. I think she might be eligible to apply according to her.
Sure. Okay. No, and then of course contacting the UN. To get and getting that referral for that refugee status is certainly
so as a general talk, Mrs. Cabrera, any idea first maybe as a general talk how they can apply for
and where
Well, that's information that falls at that point more in the purview of the State Department. So that is something that I can either get for you. The only thing that I was able to obtain and a quick notice was that for Syria at least, their offices are in Damascus. So whether they walk in or need to mail something, what the exact process, I do not know. So I would need to find out, or either get someone that could find out for you.
ملخص لما تقدمت به ضيفتنا مستمعينا الأعزاء أنه يعني يجب التقدم بتفاصيل عن حالة الاضطهاد أو الحالة السيئة التي يعيشها اللاجئون قبل التقدم باعتبار أنهم سيحصلون على طلب اللجوء، ودائما يمكنهم التواصل للمزيد من التفاصيل مع أحد ممثليات الولايات المتحدة في الخارج وقنصلياتها أو مع مكتب الأمم المتحدة الخاص برعاية شؤون اللاجئين.
Mrs. Cabrera, I would like really to include our discussion today with a very common question for as financial and medical support. Is it related to each state by itself? I mean, they have to follow with the agencies really in different states. That's really what we understood from you.
Well, yes, for any sort of health benefit, Medicaid, Medicare, that would need to follow up with the agency that is in charge of that public benefit.
For maybe next time, can we find some of the agencies might give some source of support, please?
Sure. I think what we can do is, at least, I can't speak on their behalf, but we can at least identify those agencies so that individuals know who to go to. I think we can give that a try. And then I also wanted to mention my apologies. I'm giving you the information I have. I can't understand the questions, so I certainly don't want to sound insensitive when I give the information and someone is in such dire need. So I'm giving what I have, but certainly not trying to be insensitive to those people who are
certainly
suffering.
We do appreciate your appearance and trying to clarify some issues here. And very important question, Ms. Cabrera. I still have so many questions. We didn't get the time to address it with you, and I hope that we can go back with you soon. I mean, usually our program with you in a monthly pace, but because of the need really of those addressing those questions, I hope that we can go back with you to continue the question in a near soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. I'm available and here to give whatever I can find out for you and provide that to your listeners.
مستمعينا الأعزاء، ملخص لما تقدمت به تؤكد لنا ضيفتنا على تعاطفها الشديد مع كل الحالات الإنسانية، ولكنها لا تحب أن تقدم معلومات غير موثقة، خصوصا فيما يتعلق بعمل بعض الجهات الحكومية الأخرى التي يمكنكم التواصل معها للحصول على تفاصيل خاصة باستحقاقاتكم إذا كنتم من اللاجئين فيما يختص بالخدمات الطبية والرعاية الصحية وغيرها، ولكنها سنحاول بالتنسيق معها أن نستضيف بعضا من ممثلي مثل هذه الجهات التي يقدموا الخدمات العامة والخدمات الصحية لتوضيح الصورة لكم.
At this point, I would like to thank you so much, Mrs. Marilu Cabrera, for this very valuable information you provided today. And I promise our listener we will continue our discussion with you with the rest of the questions soon, hopefully. I mean, knowing your schedule is so busy, but we're going to do our best to follow up in a near soon future. Thank you so much, Mrs. Cabrera, and I really appreciate all the effort to support our listeners.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. كانت معنا مستمعينا الأعزاء أفسر ماريلو كابريرا في حلقة خاصة عن اللاجئين وأوضاعهم وأسئلتهم.
I thank you so much for listening and Sameh for excellent translation. شكرا لك يعني كانت مهنية عالية في الترجمة.
نتمنى دائما أن تكون نافذة للمستمعين الأعزاء، ما يعن لهم من مشكلات يعن لنا، وهذا هو دورنا ودور الإعلام السليم، أن نقدم المعلومة ونساعد الناس في مشكلاتهم.
طبعا أشكر لكم متابعتكم. تابعونا غدا في برنامج أيضا يتناول الانتخابات العراقية، وفي ضيافتي عضو برلمان من العراق سيكون معنا غدا إن شاء الله متابعة لتطورات الأحداث في العراق المرشح وثاب شاكر الدليمي ضيفي غدا، ونناقشه في الانتخابات العراقية والأوضاع في العراق. إلى الغد. هذه ليلى الحسيني تحيي كل من تابعنا، وأيضا شكر للزميل العزيز سامح الهادي الذي رافقني في هذه الحلقة. إلى اللقاء.
حتى نلتقي بكم إن شاء الله. نستودعكم الله ونترككم في حفظ الله ورعايته.